Stellar Exile. Episode 10, Light Speed, Velocity Control. This is test pilot Kevin Ward aboard Phoenix 1. All systems green for light speed. Trial run. Beginning acceleration sequence. My name is Kevin Ward, and I'm about to attempt something no human has ever done before. Reach 99% of light speed in a controlled test flight. The Phoenix 1 is humanity's first faster-than-light prototype, equipped with experimental engines that bend space-time itself. Phoenix 1, this is velocity control. You are cleared for acceleration to target velocity. Remember, maximum test duration is 30 minutes at near light speed. Copy that, control. Initiating acceleration. I engage the exotic matter drive and immediately feel the strange sensation of space-time warping around my ship. The stars outside begin to shift color as the Doppler effect takes hold, blue shifting ahead of me and red shifting behind. At 10% light speed, everything feels normal. The ship responds to controls normally. Communications with control are clear, and time seems to pass at its usual rate. At 30% light speed, I notice the first anomaly. The digital chronometer on my dashboard seems to be running slightly slow compared to my biological sense of time. It's subtle, but I can feel the difference. Control, reporting minor chronometer irregularities. Ship time appears to be running approximately 0.3% slower than expected. Copy that, Phoenix 1. Time dilation effects are within predicted parameters. Continue acceleration. At 50% light speed, the time dilation becomes more pronounced. My conversations with control start to sound strange. Their responses seem to come before I finish speaking, as if they're anticipating my words. But from their perspective, I'm probably speaking impossibly slowly. Control. Communications are becoming difficult due to time differential. May need to rely on automated systems for remainder of test. Understood, Phoenix. Maintain course. Their transmission is fragmenting, stretching out as the time differential increases. I switch to automated data transmission and continue accelerating. At 70% light speed, I begin to see things that shouldn't be there. At first, it's just flickers in my peripheral vision. The shadows moving outside the ship where there should only be empty space. I attribute it to the extreme velocities and the strange visual effects of near-light travel. But at 80% light speed, the shadows become more distinct. They look like structures, ebiometric patterns that seem to exist in the space between normal space, visible only when traveling at these impossible velocities. What the hell? I mutter, staring at what appears to be a vast crystalline framework surrounding my ship. It's beautiful but alien, extending in all directions as far as I can see. At 85% light speed, I realize I'm not alone. There are things moving through the crystalline structures, beings of some kind. Though their forms are so alien, I can barely comprehend what I'm looking at. They seem to be made of light itself, flowing through the geometric patterns like living equations. One of them notices me. I feel its attention like a physical presence, and suddenly my ship's instruments go haywire, not malfunctioning. Tommy, changing. The displays start showing information I don't recognize, symbols and patterns that definitely aren't in any human language. At 90% light speed, the being tries to communicate with me. The attempt bypasses my communication systems entirely, speaking directly into my consciousness. The sensation is overwhelming, like having someone else's thoughts suddenly appear in your mind. Too slow traveler, why do you approach the threshold? The voice, if it can be called that, resonates through my entire being. I try to respond verbally, but realize that at these velocities, normal sound is meaningless. Instead, I think my response as clearly as possible. I'm testing faster than light travel. I'm trying to reach light speed. Light speed is not a destination. It is a barrier. Beyond lies the space between spaces. What are you? What is this place? We are the dwellers in the threshold. We exist in the spaces your kind cannot normally perceive. At light speed, the barriers become thin. At 95% light speed, I begin to understand what they mean. The normal universe seems to fade away, becoming translucent and insubstantial. What I thought was empty space is actually filled with incredible complexity. The layers upon layers of reality, existing parallel to our own. Your vessel is becoming unstable. The being warns. Few physical structures can maintain coherence at the threshold. I check my ship's status. The hull integrity readings are fluctuating wildly, and the exotic matter containment systems are showing dangerous energy spikes. The Phoenix 1 wasn't designed to exist at these velocities for extended periods. But I'm so close to light speed, so close to breaking through the ultimate barrier. At 98% light speed, time nearly stops. Looking back toward normal space, I can see my own past. The trail of my ship's passage stretches behind me like a solid object, each moment of my journey frozen in time. I can see myself at 90% light speed, at 80%, at 70%, all existing simultaneously. Time is not linear at the threshold, the being explains. Past, present, and future are visible from here. Can I see the future too? If you continue to light speed, yes, but physical beings who cross the threshold cannot return to linear time. That stops me cold. What do you mean? At light speed, your mass becomes infinite. Your time becomes zero. You will exist everywhere and now here, every when and never. You will become like us, conscious energy, existing outside the flow of time. I look at my instruments. 98.7%, light speed and climbing. The ship is shaking apart around me. Reality itself becoming unstable. But the temptation to continue is enormous. To see everything, to understand the ultimate secrets of space and time. What happens to my ship? My body? Matter cannot survive the transition. Only consciousness persists. You would join us as pure thought, eternal but no longer human. 98.9% light speed. The Phoenix 1's hull is starting to phase in and out of existence. Parts of my ship appear to be existing in multiple times simultaneously. I think about my life back in normal time. My family, my friends, my career as a test pilot. All of it would cease to have meaning if I crossed the light speed threshold. I would become something else entirely. But I would also become something more. A being capable of existing across all of time and space, understanding the deepest mysteries of the universe. 99.1% light speed. Choose quickly, the being urges. Your ship will not survive much longer at the threshold. I look ahead at the approaching light speed barrier. It appears as a wall of pure energy, crackling with impossible colors. Beyond it, I can sense infinite knowledge, infinite existence. But I also sense infinite loneliness. These threshold beings, for all their power and knowledge, are isolated from the normal flow of time and space. They can observe life, but not participate in it. They can know everything but experience nothing. 99.5% light speed. I make my choice. Control. This is Phoenix 1, a beginning deceleration sequence. But when I try to reduce power to the exotic matter drive, nothing happens. The ship continues accelerating toward light speed. 99.7% light speed. Your physical controls no longer function at this velocity. The being informs me. Matter and energy behave differently here. Then how do I slow down? You must will yourself to decelerate. At the threshold, consciousness shapes reality. 99.8% light speed. The light speed barrier looms ahead, filling my vision with impossible radiance. I focus all my mental energy on the desire to slow down, to return to normal time. For a moment, nothing happens. Then gradually I feel the ship beginning to respond to my will rather than my controls. 99.6% light speed. The threshold beings begin to fade from view as I drop back into more normal space-time. Farewell, traveler. Few choose to return from the threshold. Why did you let me leave? You could have convinced me to stay. Choice must be free. Forced transcendence is not transcendence. 99.0% light speed. Normal physics begins to reassert itself. My instruments start functioning again, showing the Phoenix 1 system stabilizing. 95% light speed. Crystalline structures fade from view, and the threshold beings disappear entirely. I'm alone again in normal space. 90% light speed. Time begins flowing normally again, and I can hear the frantic transmissions from velocity control. Phoenix 1. Phoenix 1. Please respond. You've been in radio blackout for 17 minutes. Control, this is Phoenix 1. I'm okay. Beginning final deceleration to sublight velocity. 80% light speed. The stars return to their normal colors and space looks like the familiar emptiness I know. 50% light speed. I can finally comprehend what just happened. Tommy. I came within a fraction of a percent of transcending physical existence entirely. 10% light speed. Control, this is Phoenix 1. Test flight complete. Returning to base. Kevin, what happened up there? We lost all telemetry for nearly 20 minutes. Our readings showed you approaching light speed, then nothing. I'll explain in the debrief. But Control? Yes? We need to add some new safety protocols to the FTL program. There are things waiting at light speed that we weren't prepared for. As I pilot the Phoenix 1 back to the test facility, I think about the choice I made. I could have become a being of pure consciousness, existing across all of time and space. I could have known everything there is to know about the universe. But I chose to remain human instead. I chose the limitations of linear time, physical existence, and finite knowledge. I chose mortality over eternal consciousness. And for the first time in my life, I truly understand what makes us human. It's not our intelligence or our achievements or our technology. It's our ability to choose limitations, to accept mortality in exchange for meaning, to remain small and temporary in order to remain ourselves. The threshold beings exist forever, but they can never again experience the simple pleasure of a sunset, the warmth of human touch, or the satisfaction of overcoming a challenge. They traded everything for omniscience, and in doing so lost everything that makes existence worthwhile. As I dock with the test facility and feel the artificial gravity take hold, I smile. Physics has its laws, time has its flow, and I have my place within both. Some barriers aren't meant to be crossed. Some speeds aren't meant to be reached. And some choices, once made, can never be undone. I remain Kevin Ward, test pilot, human being, traveler through space and time at the speeds nature intended. And that's enough. More than enough,